Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, A Man and His Trumpet, The Leroy Jones Story. And this is a new documentary focusing on the life and career and legacy of Leroy Jones, who is a famous jazz musician from New Orleans. And this film focuses on his career, a lot of it talking specifically to him, talking about how his career has gone, his influences, his performances, his music, and where he is now in his life and dealing with all these different kinds of events. It's in New Orleans, so talking about Katrina and different kinds of things like that. And this is like a very low-fi kind of documentary. There isn't anything flashy or anything to it. It felt like it was filmed on a camera like mine, and potentially even didn't really have a whole lot of like impressive lighting or anything like that. This really felt like the director had his camera. He had Leroy Jones in front of him, Terrence Blanchard, Harry Connick Jr. right in front of him, just talk. And they did. And they tell stories, they tell the influences. Harry Connick Jr. talks a lot about Leroy Jones and his influences and bringing him into the fold and why he chose him to really bring his music to life when he was going on tour for the soundtrack for When Harry Met Sally. Leroy Jones talks about his career. You see him as like now with his wife and his children and him having those special moments. It's all very point, shoot, go, and tell the story. There isn't sharp editing. It feels very loose. There's moments where there's long pauses. It feels like, honestly, one of my videos, because I don't do a whole lot of editing to the videos itself. I trim off the beginning and the end of like clicking on the camera because I don't have a little remote. I have to reach over and turn it on, turn it off. But I'm sitting here in front of the camera. There might be a bit of pauses sometimes, and I don't edit those things out. This film didn't either. It just let the speaker go. And it put these different moments together. Three very influential and talented jazz musicians talking about this one man, of the three of them, Leroy Jones, and why he was so important. It's not flashy. It's not particularly well put together in terms of like this is a really impressive technical documentary. No, it really puts you there, lets you hear the story. It's basically just interviews. There isn't anything else that's really thrown in here. It's just a stream of conscious kind of interview style with a couple different speakers edited together. And you learn a lot about Leroy Jones. You find the passion in jazz and why he was so important. And honestly, that might be enough. It might be a little too just loose for some viewers that might feel like it's veering off and getting a little having some pacing issues, but I learned a lot. I got this appreciation for jazz. I think it accomplished its mission. And that's why I think this is definitely a documentary worth checking out. But those are my thoughts on A Man and His Trumpet, the Leroy Jones Story. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.